Here, surrounded by this ode to Japanese car culture, sits one of Honda's finest engineering masterpieces from an iconic nameplate, the FL5 Civic Type R. When it launched in Australia back in 2023, the 6th generation Honda Civic Type R sold out almost instantly. And that wasn't hype. It was real demand from people who knew exactly what this car stood for. Precision, purity, and Honda engineering at its peak. And then in August 2025, this racing blue color arrived. And, you guessed it, sold out just as fast. The last time I drove this car was at its global launch at the Estoril circuit in Portugal, a former F1 venue, no less. Journalists and driving instructors came away from that test day and ordered their own Type R. It was that good, that definitive. But today is different. This is the first time I get to drive it on properly decent roads, the kind of roads it was ultimately built for. Let me show you just how good this Type R really is. Everything in this car exists because someone refused to stop improving. At Estoril, the engineers spoke in microns and milliseconds. On paper, they stiffened the chassis by 15%, reshaped the aero for 48% more front airflow, and fitted a 20% lighter resin tailgate. In motion, it's just poetry. Proper race-inspired suspension geometry, that's what gives it this incredible front-end bite. You feel it immediately, like there's a neural link between you and the steering wheel. They shortened the final drive gearing so it's always alive, always in the sweet spot. And the rev matching, 10% faster. It's seamless. Honestly, it's like the car's one step ahead. At Estoril, I learned what this chassis could take. Lap after lap, no fade, no drama, and very late braking. That's because brake cooling ducts drop temperatures by 60 degrees after 5 hard laps. On road, it's refined obsession. The Michelin Pilot Sport 4S 265 30 section tyres on 19-inch alloy wheels. Every contact patch tuned for feel. You turn in and it's pure communication and so much confidence. You can sense the rigidity, 15% up, yet the ride breathes. It's that rare mix between comfort and control. That's the real genius of this car. Perfection takes patience. In Japan, bonsai can take decades. Every cut, every wire, every balance refined by hand. It's that same philosophy that shapes the Type R. Honda's engineers approach metal in the same way a bonsai master approaches a tree. A lighter flywheel here, a reshaped turbo housing there, each change small, but together transformative. Honda's been around in Australia for more than 55 years. But you know what's even older? This bonsai redwood tree at the Chojo Nursery in Alinda in Victoria. It's more than 60 years old, and it's even been in a Liam Neeson film. And to curate a tree like this requires a very special set of skills. The result isn't loud, it's precise. It's not about power alone, though this 2-litre turbo makes 235 kilowatts and 420 Newton meters, substantially more than any of its rivals. Though if we're being perfectly honest, the Type R doesn't have any direct rivals. It sits in a class all on its own. It's about purity, about connection. After my time at the launch in Portugal, I thought I knew everything about this car, its limits, its brilliance. But out here, on ordinary roads, it reveals something deeper. The track proved its precision, but the road shows its soul. The Civic Type R isn't just engineered for performance, It's tailored for those after a driving experience that's completely elevated and frankly obsessive in the same way that Porsche is with its 911 GT cars. That's the best comparison I can make. Every bolt, every surface, every shift, you sense the people behind it. The obsession, the pride, the craftsmanship. That's what defines Honda. I said it in my track test and I'll say it again. You get a real sense this 6th generation Civic Type R was engineered by aspiring F1 engineers. How else do you explain this level of obsession? Built not to chase trends, but to chase perfection. The 6th generation Civic Type R, born to perform, engineered obsession.